Hello, have we got anyone here yet? Not yet. Somebody's here. Hello. Hi. I can see you all in the chat. I think this is my first time going live on YouTube, so bear with me. The boys are going to be joining the chat soon, so you'll see them here soon. Somebody asked, where's the vinyl? The vinyl will be coming. We've got it. It'll be ordered soon, so it'll be later down the track, but it's going to be very cool. We've got Lorenzo has done an amazing design for us, so vinyl's coming. It's really weird doing this, and it's just me. I wondered if we should be watching our new video, but I'm going to wait to make sure everybody's here who wants to be. Somebody said, what's your favorite song on the album? Why is it Bashville? I love Bashville, but that isn't actually my favorite song on the album. Now, I have been told I need to share this on our Instagram story. Anybody who isn't already ready to come see us on here. Somebody said they went on a snowy run today and listened to the album. Well done. I'm not a great runner at the best of times, so running in the snow, that's a whole other level. A lot of people are loving Every False Embrace. That's been really nice to hear, actually. That was sort of a later in the piece, weren't sure if it was going to be on the album type track, and then there it is, it's on there. Also, bear with me, I haven't had a coffee yet. It is 9 a.m. in Australia, and I feel like I've just woke up, and it's Saturday, and it's a little bit foggy, hazy outside. It's like hot and hazy, and I'm feeling a little croaky, a little sleepy. I'm trying to read your comments as well. Bashful is a good running song. I agree, Michael. It is a good running song. That one is just fast and a little bit crazy. Oh, this is cool. Okay, wait, I was meant to be sharing this on our Instagram story, so you can all watch me as I do this and hold me accountable. I don't know if I'm seeing Charlie and Josh in the chat either, so I do wonder if they're going to make it here and what's happening with them. Charlie and Josh, if you're here, please comment in the chat now so I can see you. I've also realized I don't know what their YouTube usernames are. So, okay, let's put this up here now. Let's put this on the story. I had given a beautiful bunch of flowers yesterday as a release day gift from some friends, and I've got those sitting next to me here. It's absolutely huge, and I feel like as dramatic as this album is, so that was a very sweet gift, and I'm going to post a photo of those on the story. If you guys don't follow us on Instagram already, then maybe you should, because I do think, you know, we post some funny stuff on there, we post some good stuff on there. I think I'm about ready to get back into making more silly and fun videos for our Instagram. So if you want to see those, then, you know, maybe we can do that for you. Somebody asked, which song are you very looking forward to play live? Honestly, a lot of them. I think Phoebe's song's going to be really fun. We've never done a live key change, and I think that's going to be a cool little challenge for us. And the live release. So the live at Hackney video, I mean, it is, you can watch on YouTube anytime you want to. I feel like we've talked about putting it, like splitting it up, making an album, putting it on Spotify. It isn't off the cards. I think we've just gotten busy with stuff for this album and focusing on that instead, because we do have some more live videos that we've filmed in a similar, like, full setup, proper audio recording for the songs on this album. So I'm hoping that you guys are going to like those. The drag multi-rehearsal vid. I wonder what that means. I wonder what that refers to. Yes, I think we will eventually do that. Okay, somebody's asked, how does it feel to have the new album out the door? Relieved, anxious, excited? Yes, yes, all of those. It's been a bit of a crazy week, and then it's also funny when we aren't all together for release weeks. I feel like that is often the case, but it's feeling good so far. I think it doesn't really feel real yet. We're all just sort of in the comfort of our homes going, yay, the album's out. I think it'll be much more real when we're playing the shows on tour, and looking forward to that. I think I feel relieved. I think it's pretty exciting to finally have the rest of the songs out, because I think those are the ones that are a lot more vulnerable, and it's nice to have those kind of maybe reach some more ears, but it is also a little bit scary because they're more vulnerable. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit more, well, vulnerable probably is the word. I'm feeling a little bit more vulnerable with this album being out than I would have other times when it was just an album maybe more full of fun, happy, dancey songs. So, oh yes, Charlie's in the chat. I can see him. And he said, my hair looks incredible. Thank you, Charlie. I owe it all to my amazing hairdresser here in Melbourne. Her name is Alicia. It's Stash Hair. If anyone in Melbourne is watching and needs a hairdresser, then go see her. I think she's usually pretty booked and busy, but you can get a spot occasionally with her. I've just realized as well, I still haven't posted on the Instagram story. I got distracted talking about the flowers. So I've got to do that now. There's quite a few of you on here, and I very much appreciate your patience. I'm also, maybe Charlie in the chat could tell me if we're meant to be watching a video together, and if there's a way that we do that together. And I'm really outing myself as old in this moment, or maybe just inexperienced with YouTube lives, and also very much I feel like I'm missing Josh. He's more of our YouTube savvy guy, but I also don't know if he's done this before either. So he's not in the chat. I'm feeling like either he forgot this is happening, or he's decided he just doesn't want to be here. And look, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and go for the first option. And and I still haven't posted that on the story. Okay. Josh is currently, someone said time zone phobia, but Josh is currently in New Zealand. So we're all in the same time zone at the moment. Charlie is in Australia right now. I'm in Australia. I live in Melbourne, Australia. And Josh is currently in New Zealand, I believe in Palmerston North. And I think Charlie is going to Auckland in a few days. No? I don't know. Charlie's in Christchurch. Never mind. So Charlie's in New Zealand too. It's hard to keep track of these guys. They're always in a million different time zones. It's somebody asked if we'll get a No Love Lost to Kindness alternative versions LP. I don't know. I think making the alternate versions of Truth or Consequences was like a really good COVID lockdown activity for us, because we weren't ready to write new music yet, but we felt like that album needed justice and more time for it, and we couldn't play the songs live. I feel like we, yeah, I mean, it's not out of the question. I think we just probably sit with these songs for a while. We're going to go on tour and play them a lot. We're going to, see what comes of that. And we may end up, in a position where we feel like that's a fun thing to do. I do think it'd be really fun to do remixes, and I think I'm really loving the era we live in now where people are putting out versions of their songs with other artists featured later. That's something I really want to do. I don't know whether that's something we will do, so I don't want to promise anything. But I feel like the pop girly fans in the chat will be very familiar with the Zara Larsson version of that new Pink Panther song, and I'm absolutely obsessed with the video for that and her verse on that. And I feel like that is my dream, to do a Yumi Zouma track where we get someone to jump in and feature. I think Zara Larsson might not be an option for us, but if anyone's got any suggestions, please put them in the chat for your ideal feature. If we were to do a Yumi Zouma remix with another artist on a feature, it's got to be someone who we could actually get a hold of, first of all, and afford, because, we do not have Zara Larsson money, let's be honest. Somebody suggested No So. That's a really good one. We've toured with No So. We love them, and they would do something very cool, I think, on some of the more moody songs on the album. Phaser Days is another amazing one. She's a friend. She's a Yumi bestie. I think we put her on a track. I think I've talked to her about how much I want to do that for a while, but we only have so much time in the day. We only have so much time to get all this stuff done. Hazel English is another really good suggestion. We have talked to her before. I believe she lives in LA. She lives in America, but she's Australian, so she's in our wheelhouse. She's in the Anzac Australasian Club. I also saw someone suggesting Tops and Night Tapes, and I feel like those are probably two of my other faves for being in our wheelhouse. I can't keep saying that word, but we have talked about potentially doing a remix with Night Tapes. It's whether or not we can all make it work, because they're really busy on tour and we're also busy on tour soon. And again, this is why I'm like, why am I even opening this up? Because it's hard to coordinate this all. Everybody's busy. Everybody's got to play their shows. Everybody's got to, write their songs and do their thing. Look, I have to be completely transparent and say that I feel rude being on my phone while I'm on this live stream. I also feel a little bit crazy because it does feel like I'm talking to myself. I think I'm realizing now that I've never gone live on my own. I'm not used to this, and it's very odd. And yeah, Charlie, just can you talk to them for a minute? Can you tell them some facts about the album? Tell them a fun story about the album while I post this. I'm doing it. Okay, everybody, watch me doing it. Yes, I haven't had my coffee. I have had my meds. The meds probably are about to hit. They're probably hitting now, and we're probably about to fire away. This is very fun. Josh has just sent a message in the chat, and he's said he asked if he's missed it, but he hasn't missed it. So I'm assuming he's about to join too. So my boyfriend has just offered me a coffee, and that's a really cool thing that's about to happen to me. Thank you, Nate. So he's gonna make a coffee. Josh is about to join the chat. Charlie's in there. Somebody asked if it's still Spurs for Charlie. Charlie's never been a Spurs fan. He's an Arsenal fan. He's always been an Arsenal fan. Oh, we have Ariel in the chat. Ariel from our label network. Shout out network. Charlie said hello, Nate.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, Ariel.
Nate said hello, Charlie, and hello, Ariel. Nate is also in a band, and he is also on network, and Ariel is also his project manager. Yes, Ariel works with both of our bands, so this is a network band house over here. Josh is in the chat. Oh yes, and he's in the official Yumi Zouma account. So he's in the chat on the account. I'm here chatting live on the account. Okay, I've seen this this is feeling like a bit now. It's not a bit. I am posting this, and I'm also very aware of my concentration face as I do this. But oh yes. We're good. We're good, everyone. We're good. Okay, I'm gonna drink some water as well because I think we're getting a little more comfortable with each other now. I'm getting a little more comfortable here. I don't feel like I can't drink some water out of my fake Stanley bottle from Kmart. Shout out Kmart if there's any well, Americans, I don't think Kmart's like a thing. I think it's not the same in America, but Kmart here is quite a legend really of affordable goods, but still quite cool. So everyone's there. Josh, thanks. Wow, my bandmates are being so nice about my hair today. I will say it's really done something. Maybe it knows the album's out and it's really behaving itself. I think also it's very humid here, and I think maybe that helps with a little bit of texture, a little bit of volume. Somebody said come back to Mexico, and I wholeheartally agree, and I am just waiting for the email from our booking agent saying, yep, you're going to Mexico. Eliza, she does a great job. She's a great booking agent, and we loved playing there last time. And I think I don't know why we aren't doing it on this tour. I think maybe we just didn't get an offer. It is a little bit more of a mission to get there, I guess. I can't remember if there's certain visas we need, but we will go back to Mexico. I think it was one of our favorite cities to play on the last tour that we did in 2023, which is crazy to say. Think how long that's been, 2 years ago, but we will be back. We loved Mexico. We love Mexico City. What inspired us to travel to Mexico City to write the album? I think it was Josh who had been to Mexico City, been for a wedding, and he loved it. And I think from that point, I think it was also where we were located in between shows. I think we were between the West Coast and the East Coast. And he thought it would be a good place to get a studio. I think it's, maybe Josh can speak more to this, but I think that he felt it was just a really good place that was different enough from where we all live. It was kind of a break from our everyday lives. And as a city, it's really beautiful. It's like, I think when you're writing music, it really helps to have a really beautiful surroundings when you leave the studio. I mean, having a beautiful studio is good, but it's nice to be in a place that you feel like you can go for a walk and it refreshes your brain and it's all new. It's not familiar stuff. It's not, or it's not, we've written before in LA, we've written before in New York and London, all these places. And it's nice when you can be in a kind of a more unfamiliar landscape. And also just, dare I say, if you're going out and you're eating really good food in between writing songs, if you're going out and you're eating, drinking really nice drinks, sometimes that is really what can fuel the vibe perfectly. So shout out to Mexico City for how amazing the food is. If anyone has been, they will know. And also it's just beautiful. I think I'm a big architecture lover, and I feel like it's one of the most interesting cityscapes when you're walking around, and it's kind of these, especially we were in some of the areas that are a little older and these beautiful old buildings and like a lot of big you know, a lot of plants, a lot of big trees that were growing out of the footpath, and the footpath is like all cracked, and it's kind of got this perfect, it almost feels like a movie set, that it's got this perfect amount of kind of, I would say it's almost like a patina. It's like been worn in by the surroundings in this way that feels really beautiful. I don't know if that sounds a little bit wanky. I don't know if I can say wanky on here, actually. That might be, let me just pretend I didn't say that and drink my coffee. I need to start reading some more of the chat as well, to be honest with you all. Oh my God, the food. Yeah, Joyce is right. Mexican Coke. Well, that's a funny, you know, that could be taken multiple ways. But yes, the Mexican Coca-Cola is really good. And we did probably have some of those. I would say we had some Mexican Coca-Cola. And that's all we'll say about that. Because that's really all we did have, in all honesty. None of any of the other variations of that word. And yeah, we recorded at Lucena Records, which is a really cool studio. I can't remember what area it's in. Maybe the boys will remember, but really cool studio. Really lovely people working there. And I remember we had a lovely guy, I think his name was Diego, and he was very sweet. We went out for lunch with him one day. We had the kind of just the studio to ourselves most of the time, but those guys were just lovely to see every now and again. It had this beautiful room that was pink velvet, so pink velvet surrounding the walls, and this was the room with like the drums in it, and we also had a mic set up in there for vocal tracking. I remember it was very hot, and also when you're tracking vocals, even if you're just doing scratch ideas, you know, we had to turn the fans off because you get a lot of mic interference. And I feel like the heat was, plus the pink velvet walls, kind of created this, I don't know if it was someone else that said this, but a womb-like feeling that I feel maybe made me feel quite safe for a lot of the songs, especially when we were doing like pretty vulnerable stuff. So that was yeah, that was a beautiful place to record though. Beautiful stuff. Josh asked, Christy, what's the funniest thing I did during the album making? Oh my God. To mine the mental archives for this. Maybe Charlie can remind me. We did have a pretty good bit in, I'm trying to think what song it was. Maybe it was Drag, where Josh really leaned in on the Gregorian monk bit that you can still hear, I think, in the song, where it's kind of this like the build up after the little like bridge instrumental section. He was really going. I'm thinking this isn't actually the funniest. It's not actually as funny. I'm sure there's funnier stories. It just ended up that's like many things we do. You started out thinking this is you know, hilarious, and then it just ends up in the song, and then you're like, yeah, that's great. That sounds really good, actually. Well done, everyone. Hilarious, good song. A lot of people, yeah. Oh, maybe I keep thinking it's a lot of people, but I think it is the same guy in the chat has been saying Every False Embrace is one of his favorites. I don't know your name, but I do know that you've messaged me on Instagram and told me this too, which feels, yeah, that's kind of a cool. I mean, I'm curious to see. It's always really cool when you put an album out and you start to see what everybody is picking from the album tracks, because I do think, especially on this one, the album tracks are quite different. You know, the deep cuts are a lot different to the singles that we put out. I think that, you know, we maybe catfished a few of you, or the opposite of catfishing. We maybe went all singles of rock or pop rock, or, you know, 95 maybe was the exception. But then we've got all the other songs, the more sad buzz ones. We've got more of the dream pop sound and our classic sort of 70s soft rock influence type stuff. We've got a song with a harmonica solo that Josh did. Well, that's Every False Embrace. It's got Josh's. Actually, maybe that was one of the funniest moments. Again, it's a funny moment that ends up being really good. And we just couldn't believe it. He's so good at the harmonica, and he was just ripping this harmonica solo. I think it was funny because of how good it was. A joke idea at first. We were like, are we going to lean fully into country? Are we fully going to go, like, let's do the full, I was leaning into, I think, my, like, Shania Twain, a little bit like pop country, early 2000s, like what mum was listening to. And in my vocal parts and in my vocal style and just like lyrically, I think it suited that. And then I think Josh adding that harmonica really made it kind of a whole other thing, that we just couldn't believe it. But yeah, it started as a joke, and then, like many things, it's actually sounds really good and it's a great idea. But it was very funny. I don't know why it was funny now that I'm talking about it, but it was funny. I think because he would do like many good improvised skills, and especially when it's not one you're doing a lot, he would do something incredible, like an amazing little riff. I think we end up cutting up like all the things he'd tried for that song, and we do the best of what he'd come up with. But he'd do this amazing little riff, he'd do like a fantastic little moment, and then just like a real bum note or something that was just, I think that's the beauty of when you're in the studio, is knowing you can just have a play around. Sometimes you get some really bad bits, and then that's what makes it fun and funny, because then you've still done the really good bits. And I think that's what honestly makes it so fun being in a band with these guys, is we are never that serious about what we do. And I think we know when to be serious about what we do, but we know how to have fun when we're doing it. And I think the imperfection is often where not only the fun and the laughs lie, being able to laugh at yourself when you fuck something up too. Also, I don't know, am I allowed to swear? I'm not sure how that works these days. Whoops. But you can have fun. You can have fun, and you can still cut up the track that you recorded at the end and come up with a really good song with only the good bits, and you can edit out the bad bits. That's the beauty of the studio. People are saying Desert Mile. They're loving Desert Mile. That's cool. Yes, Charlie's in the chat. Charlie's handle is Charlie Ryder, 2 R's. His icon is a little blue picture of his face. Josh is on the official account for anyone who has more recently joined. He has asked me, so it looks like I'm asking myself that, but I'm not, I swear. Josh has asked me, Christy, how were you so slay in the drag video? Well, I will say it was, I could come in there. Josh had set up an incredible set, incredible lighting, so full credit to the boys. I had an incredible coat that I bought from Nifty in Christchurch. So anyone from Christchurch, or if you're ever planning to go to Christchurch in New Zealand, our hometown, go to Nifty. It's a big pink building. It's secondhand and vintage clothing, consignment, and and the like. And Rosie, who runs it, is the loveliest person. I went to high school with her, and she is the best I don't know if she's curating the vintage that comes in. I don't know where she got this coat, if it was someone brought it to her to sell, but that amazing leather trench coat that I'm wearing, and it's got a huge sheepskin fur collar, and I think it's 70s era vintage. Absolutely beautiful. And I went in there and I was about to move to Australia, but I had to buy it. Even though I already had 1 million coats and I couldn't bring them with me, I still knew that was like the coat. So I bought it, and because of that, I looked slay in the video. I also have to shout out Simone Thurlow, who did my makeup, and she did such an amazing, intense look. She really met the brief. I'd gone and bought like a little green shimmery half magic to this amazing, I think it's like Swamp Goddess, this green duochrome eyeshadow, shimmery eyeshadow, and she used that on me and did an incredible eyeliner look. I looked quite scary and quite cool and quite fitting for a villain. I liked it. I've missed a little bit, but I need to go back. Oh, yeah, I like Charlie's response to that. So someone said make more music, which is hilarious because we just released a new album. And fun fact for you all, first ever album with 12 tracks. So famously, we've always put out albums with 10, especially on the original releases. I've always just stuck to 10 tracks. It's like usually we have more, but it just feels like that's the amount that ended up making sense. With this album, we had so many songs, and it wasn't, I mean, even though that's been a thing on previous albums, it did feel like this one, there was like, we needed a little bit more space to tell the full story. I think we wanted to include all the big rock songs and the fun pop songs and that sort of stuff that we'd maybe fleshed out a little earlier and decided that was like definitely on there. But then we got to the point where we knew we, I guess, needed to work on what else was going to fit in there. And then so this album has 12 tracks because there were a couple that we just knew needed to be on there, even if they were, kind of different, and they felt like, like a song like Waiting for the Cards to Fall. That's the last song on the album, and that felt like it just needed to be its own moment. And it's so different to anything else we've written, really. It's very slow, very somber, but kind of ends the album in this optimistic way. Just felt like the natural ending. And yeah, and people are insatiable. And it is very funny. It's a bit like, when people comment, come play in New York. And you're like, we just did, or we are, and the tickets are on sale. And I just think maybe a few people could benefit from doing a Google of what we're up to before they comment things like that. Because, yeah. I mean, we're happy to tell you, look, we haven't got much else to do. Not right now anyway. I mean, it's been busy, but now, look, it's just Saturday. It's Saturday for me. It might be Friday for some of you in the world, but, this is the time. This is when we're chatting. Josh is not in Brooklyn right now. Josh is in New Zealand and apparently needs to go to the beach due to unforeseen circumstances. Look, I won't forbid you from that, Josh. I think you should enjoy the beach. It is, you've made it down to the Southern Hemisphere summer, and you may as well enjoy it. I'm jealous because now I live in Melbourne and I live in inner north. We're just a little bit too far from the beach or any good beaches on any given day. And even though it's hot, I feel like we don't often, it's not a thing I do here anymore, and I feel a little bit sad about that. If anyone knows of any good beaches that are near Melbourne enough, not an hour's drive from north in the north, but yeah. And also, look, I wouldn't be the one driving. I'd have to get Nate to drive, and he's not, that's a bit annoying for him. So we go to the beach sometimes, but it's not. Anyway, why am I talking about this? Getting carried away. Somebody has said, thanks for bringing the wonderful Vera Ellen as support on the European League. You're very welcome. We are really excited to have her on the tour. It's going to be really cool. I feel like she is one of the, I feel like she's New Zealand rock royalty already, and she's not even, she's not in the legacy acts, but yeah, I think that's going to be really fun, really cool. We're also doing that tour on trains, so it's going to be kind of a very cute Kiwis on tour train journey around Europe. There are some legs that there are no trains, but most of it we're doing on trains. This is Josh's mastermind idea, and I've always loved trains, and so I'm fully in. Especially excited for the sleeper train. I think we're doing the sleeper train from London to Scotland or vice versa. Not one of the really, bougie ones, just a regular one, but I've always wanted to go on a sleeper train. In fact, if anyone has a hookup for any of those companies that do the honestly, any sleeper train, if anyone's got a hookup for any of those any sleeper train around the world, please let me know. Any discount code, we could do a collab. We can do a, we can do a Yumi Zouma sleeper train partnership, because that is my dream, is to go on one of those multi-day sleeper train trips. They are really expensive, but that is my dream. I don't know why that's my dream. We've all seen, well, we haven't all seen Snowpiercer, but if you've seen Snowpiercer, you know that it maybe shouldn't be my dream, but I love trains and I want to sleep on one. I think because I grew up in a city that doesn't have trains as public transport, and I lived in small towns that never had that, and to me, they're pretty cool. Cute Kiwis on tour. It does sound like I think we've overburdened ourselves in the past by trying to film everything we do on tour. It can just add stress to the whole endeavor. I think we probably won't be doing that on this one, but who knows, we might just get enough handycam content and make a little something. I feel like doing a train trip adds an extra element of whimsy that I think is going to really help, and hopefully not just be annoying, and hopefully it will make everything easier. And I think whimsy can solve a lot of problems in the world. I think we all could do a little bit more of that. If I bring my vinyls to the San Fran show in May, would you guys sign them? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes to you now, Alexander Chambers. And I'm going to have a caveat that sometimes we get off the stage, depending on the vibe, it's I can't do that whole, because sometimes I'm always a proponent of, let's go out, let's meet people. I love meeting you all. I love meeting people after the shows. I love signing stuff, and that's really fun. And we, I think we generally do enjoy that, but it can sometimes mean that you are there for a while and you've already played the show, and that was really amazing, but also exhausting you, and you still have to pack down. I think this is the other thing. We aren't in a position yet where we can pay other people to pack down for us. And when we get to that point, I'll be doing a signing every night. But look, that being said, I'm going to write this down now in my phone, that in San Francisco, I said I would. And so I will come out and I will sign those records, because I am nothing if not for the people and for the Yumi fans, because why else would I have been doing this for 10 years if I wasn't just so happy that you guys show us so much support and you make it worth doing, because it feels real, because so much of my time is spent sitting at home on this computer. In the internet bubble. I work from home. I have 2 jobs where I work from home, the band and my day job. And so to be able to go out and play shows kind of it's quite scary, but it feels really exciting. And that is what we are here to do it for. Sorry, that didn't make any sense. Sorry, I haven't quite had enough sleep last night. And you were doing a great job bearing with me. Thank you for all being here. This has been very fun so far. And I cannot believe it's already been 40 minutes, and I don't know how long we said we were going to do this. And I think, we could just I could sit here forever. I could just, don't have anything else to do after this. It's just Saturday morning, and I have just moved into a new apartment, and I do need to unpack some things. But we're not in a hurry to go do that. Is the upcoming show in Dublin your first gig in Ireland? No, we played in Ireland on our last Europe tour in 2022, and we ended. Did we end the tour there then? Maybe. No, maybe. And it was really fun. And I also had a really bad cough at the time because I'd bought the CBD vape, which was a genius idea. And I'd never vaped or smoked in my life. But I thought, let me get this because I could do with being chill some of the time. But it gave me a cough. So then somebody tried to make me drink. Well, not somebody, but, the whole crowd who hung around after the show brought me a Guinness. One of the people brought me a Guinness, but the whole crowd sung like, we all drink with Christy, because Christy's so fun. And I was meant to down this Guinness all in one, and I can't even down half a beer on a good day. And I maybe had one sip, and then I coughed, and I couldn't do it. And they all booed. And it was a real moment of shame for me because I did, sort of hope that I would be able to stand up and, in Ireland as, a legend. And I didn't. I failed. And I do think maybe Josh succeeded or maybe Liv. So either way, I think we need a rerun on that. And I think when I come back to Dublin, I'm going to have to try again and at least try and split the G this time. Which I won't. I will need to practice for because I haven't managed to do that yet either. But I'll just schedule that in with my vocal practice. I'll be vocal practice at 10 a.m, splitting the G at 12 p.m. And topically, Phil, our manager, just sent me a lovely message and said, "Crushing this, Don." Don is my nickname. I do feel like Phil maybe. That's the perfect timing for you to say that after I'm talking about Guinness as well. So Phil is Irish by way of Liverpool. He is our resident Scouser. And I do feel, I don't think I personally have any Irish blood, but I do have my last name Simpson. I do have Scottish heritage. All my parents' lineage is from Scotland. So I feel like I don't know. There's something there. It's something. What did Charlie say? Why not me? Why did you not? What? Why not you? What? Why not you? Why did you not do the Guinness? Oh, why not Phil? Oh, yes. I don't know. Ask Phil. Why are you Don? Why am I Don? Sorry, that's really clattery. I got this nickname a long time ago and it stuck. I think for a while I was Toff, and Toff came from, not Toff like Toff, but Toff came from Christoffel, which Charlie was calling me when we first met, and I joined his and Josh's band in 2012, and Charlie quickly gave me the name Christoffel, and I'd never had a nickname before, so that was pretty cool. And then that became Toff for short. I think maybe that was later, but for a long time it was Toff. I do remember Toff was written on, all my various things, Toff sampler, Toff this, that. But then at one point, and this was when Sam Perry was in the band, so we have to credit Sam with this invention, is that it went from Toff to Don Toff. Don Toff was, I don't know, that's just, obviously it sounded good. It just happened in Sam's brain as things did, and, they stick. And then it became just Don. So for a while it was Don Toff, and then it was Don, and then so it's Don, which is funny because it's like I'm the Don, but I'm really not the Don. And I think that really is a funny, well, maybe I am the Don of some things, and maybe I'd like to embody that in other areas of my life. Maybe that's helped me manifest some boss auras. I do remember when I joined a kickboxing fitness gym many years ago now, and they asked me what I wanted my name to be up on like the board. You wear like a belt and then it like tracks you and you're up on the board. And I didn't know I didn't really want my real name, and I wanted something that made me feel, powerful. So I was like, I'm going to do the Don. And then I remember one of the trainers being like, I always wondered who the Don was. And I never would have thought it was you, because out of all the many Don-like or maybe mafia-obsessed dudes that may have been at this kickboxing gym, I was just this little girly who probably looked pretty nondescript a lot of the time. It was before I had maybe this haircut, and I don't think I had a septum piercing yet. So I think, they didn't clock me as the Don, but I think that's good. You got to move in silence sometimes. Somebody asked what our favorite New Order album is. I haven't listened to enough New Order albums to be a good source on that, but I do know that Charlie and Josh are obsessed with New Order in their own rights, and I know they have specific songs they love that I've since fallen in love with by being shown them, but we'll see what they say. Are there some bands you really like right now? It's a good question. Bands I really like. Why can I not think of this? And I listen to so much music. I wonder if it's because I'm really in more of it seems to be a bit of a solo artist era, even though these artists have bands. Actually, I will tell you a band I really like. And if you'd like a little bit of fun pop music, then this is definitely for you. They are called Blusher. They are a 3-piece girl group, like as in pop group from Australia. I've met them here in Melbourne. I used to technically live with one of them when she wasn't on tour. They are unbelievably good. They do the most fun dance adjacent pop songs that is just the perfect mix, I think, of like fun and frivolous and about like going to the club. Girl, you gotta, we gotta get you out of your head. You gotta go dance. And then also other ones that are a little bit more deep, but beautifully written, beautifully produced. They are amazing live. They are quite unstoppable, I feel. And they're also really nice people. And just, I feel like they are on a trajectory at the moment, and they're going to be big. They are about to go on tour with Kesha. They're already pretty big in Australia. I would say they're definitely getting there. And they've been on some pretty amazing tours in the US too. They're playing at Laneway in 2 weeks, and I'm going to see them there. I'm really excited. The last time I saw them was a while ago, so they're great. Someone asked if I'm a fan of Leisure. I am. I feel like I got really into Leisure like years ago, maybe 2017, and we've even talked to them about, we nearly did a collaboration with them one time. I think in COVID, we started an idea of a song with Leisure. It never really made it anywhere. I think all that happened a lot in that time, but they're great. They have really hit a stride lately too. I feel like they've just reached that point of, like our next level, which is really cool. And I think they've, been so consistently good and so cool for so long, such a strong vision for what they do. So it's really nice to see it finally kind of getting to that next level. And, our fellow Kiwis, we're a little unstoppable lately. And yes, we do have vinyl. Not yet. It will be getting a vinyl release. It is getting, I think it's getting finalized. I think it's been sent off. I think the artwork and everything's been sent off. I think it's in the process of being ordered. And as soon as there is a pre-order, we're going to let you know, obviously. And it will be hopefully in time for the US tour, so that you can buy copies of the record when we're on tour. But yeah, we will be doing it. We're doing it ourselves this time. We're not doing it through a label. So that is why it is taking a little longer. And it's also it's a different ball game, because we don't have there's no, I think in the past when we've had labels, they've had their own web store. They are the ones who want the vinyl because they're selling it. It's not the same story with Network. They operate a little bit differently. They're more of a digital focus. So we'll be producing it ourselves and having it distributed and all of that. And it will be, a a little later down the track. Sorry, everybody, but it's been a very long process to get this album out, and also that's made it, I think, quite easy to get to points where you think, oh, we've still got so much time, and then all of a sudden you don't. And also, I will say, releasing an album in January was a crazy decision, because in the lead up you have Christmas and everyone is away or busy, or I'm personally having a holiday and I'm having a break, because that's when we do that. EP3 and EP4 release one day, maybe. I think we did talk about doing an EP4 release. I think we want to do that, a vinyl release. I think it was talked about that we might try and do that in tandem with this album, as they kind of feel a little bit like they belong together. They're like sister releases, maybe, in our mind. So could be on the cards. I don't think it's in the plan just yet, but we will also probably be re-releasing some caffeine vinyl at various points in time in the future. I don't know when, but that will be happening. Spoiler alert, I think EP3, we want people to have that. And I think last time we did a reissue of it was really a cool moment, and it felt really nice to have people kind of re-engaging and have new versions of that vinyl. And we did that new version of In Camera. We did an acoustic version that we put up on streaming too, so it was cool. EP3 is like $5,000 online. I mean, I hope it's not literally 5,000. I hope that's just an exaggeration, but yeah, I mean, that's why we want to do it, because we don't want it to be, I mean, it's cool when things become collectible and valuable. Obviously for us, that's like a nice feeling, but also we want you guys to be able to afford it. So we'll do that for you at some stage. What's your favorite track on the new Yumi album? We all have different ones, I think. I find it hard to pick a favorite, and I think it depends on where I'm at the time. I think at the moment, I think I have different favorites also for different moods. Like, I think Phoebe's song is one of my favorites because it's so joyous, and it was so nice to be part of that song and part of getting that message across on behalf of Josh. But it's also a song that, it just feels good because it's just about someone loving someone else, and being the singer of that was really fun and cute and enjoyable. It's fun to sing. It was fun to do in the studio, and it's going to be fun to do on tour. Oh, what's happening here? Wrong way. Okay, this way. Yeah, there we go. I think we will be playing that one on tour. The other favorite of mine from the album is probably, I think Did You See Her has always been one of my favorites. Like, I think in the writing process, it was one that I felt really attached to. It's quite like, I think because it's quite a different sound for us, but it felt more like something that it felt very me, like it came from the feelings in it. It's quite vulnerable, and I do think it comes from a place of, I don't know, kind of a very personal honesty about like a lot of the anxious thoughts I'm having, and it's also just got that very witchy, somber feeling that I think kind of Josh had just started writing this little like ukulele part in that 3/4 kind of time, and I think that one turned into something that I was like, oh, I think I was really feeling, I was feeling quite low at the time of writing, but I just, I think someone gave me the mic and we just put an idea in, and I just had that to come out, kind of coming from this place of, I love Stevie Nicks, and I love some of the demos of old Fleetwood Mac songs. There's this one demo of a song called Planets of the Universe that's really amazing, and been an obsession of mine since I was about 15, and that song felt like it made sense in that same world, and it felt like a really, Stevie shares a very vulnerable feeling on her version song with kind of this raw feeling, although it is quite coming from a quiet place, but it's raw and there's power in it. And I think that's sort of a similar, when it started to go down that path, did you see when it started to go down that path, I felt really strongly about, I wanted this one to be in the album, and it's been a fave of mine. It feels very much like a bearing of my soul, and it was really nice that, the guys helped me realize it, and have it end up on the album. It's it's got that mystical feeling. I think initially the ukulele was even more whimsical and mystical, and then I think, maybe that got a little changed. I think that, where I was like, yeah, let's lean into this. This is cool. It's like, fantasy vibes and Hobbiton, and, I think Charlie and Joshua, I think it might be a bit much. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. So the final version still has all the elements of that make it great, but a little bit more depth, maybe a little bit less of a like, here's just a demo idea. So, and No Love for Blister is crazy. I mean, I think Blister gets a lot of love. I think no one's denying that Blister is, we love Blister. We love Blister. And I think you all seem to really have loved Blister. It's such a fun song. And it's become a bit of a fave. And I feel like we, I think we're going to have fun playing on tour. Somebody asked, does the Birdsong Lodge session have more songs? I don't know if I'm allowed to spoil it, but yes, it does. So we're gonna, you'll see some more of those. TLC, still my favorite album. Fair enough. It's a great album and we love it. And that album really felt like it was a moment for us. And it felt like it was building up to be this really big moment. And visually it was, we had this whole world that Lorenzo created. And I think that album was, I think it, because of the pandemic too, I think that album never got its moment at the time as much as it deserved. And then I think, all of you guys have done a really amazing job of making sure it didn't get forgotten after the fact. And I think we feel really lucky actually that happened, because it was, we had a couple singles out, but then the album came out on the 13th of March. It was the day, I think, that the WHO declared it a pandemic. And that was, bad luck in a lot of ways. But I think we feel really proud of that album. I think that album has some songs that we still really love. We're still going to play some songs from that album on this tour. And I feel like Truth or Consequences was like the building block to where we are now. It felt like the shift from our earlier albums. I feel like Truth or Consequences was the step into, this place we are now, when we kind of had Olivia playing the drums and it was becoming a little bit more of a classic rock feel, and we were doing some sadder things and some moodier things and less synthy things, but also some synthy things. And then I think we went further with that on Present Tense, and then now we're here fully in our, I don't know, where we are at now. We're somewhere in the indie rock, dream pop world. I hope that we're, maybe falling more just under a blanket category of indie or alternative, and we're just doing cool stuff within that, and definitely leaning more into some rock sounds, because it's really fun doing that, guys. Like, have some fun. Let us have our fun. Let us have our rock moments. I also realized we'd been doing this for an hour, and I don't know, maybe you're all sick of me by now. Maybe, I wish I could just pull one of the other band members in from the side of frame so that they could start talking too. But in fact, that is not possible. They are, they're all in New Zealand right now, but they're not here in Melbourne. I'm in Melbourne and they are not here. Someone said, is Olivia okay? Olivia is okay. Yeah, she's very okay. Liv is studying counselling. She's been doing that for a year now, so this will be her second year, I mean, Liv doesn't really use socials, doesn't really, suit her vibe, and I think, she's happy without them. And yeah, she's thriving in Wellington, having fun, playing shows with other bands, as she does, I think, but also working very hard. I think it's quite a full-on degree and also a bit intense at times. And yeah, it's good. What did I just spell? Olivia is like Stephen Morris for me, incredible drummer. I don't know who Stephen Morris is, but I agree with the incredible drummer part. She is an incredible drummer. Liv is an incredible drummer, and we all know that. And we feel very lucky to have Liv do amazing stuff on this album. Someone said, "Oh, it's the drummer of New Order." Okay, gotcha. Yes, I see the resemblance. Somebody asked, how did Dasha Nekrasova get in the Brain music video? Truthfully, I don't know. And I think it might have just been before she was famous. And I think it was the director that did those videos knew her. Charlie or Josh may be able to answer that better than me. Someone also asked, will we be back to Germany anytime soon? Yes, we are playing in Berlin on... Let me check real quick. Let me tell you exactly the day, exactly the place. So hopefully you're near Berlin. In part of my mind, I'm thinking, are we playing elsewhere in Berlin? Look, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna look at the tour poster real quick. Everyone bear with me, please. Thanks. All right. So yes, we are playing in Cologne. See, I knew it. And I'm going to go see that big cathedral because I've been wanting to see that. I just watched an episode of Drag Race last night. Shout out any Drag Race fans. And it was the first episode of UK versus the World. And there was an incredible drag queen from Berlin. No, from Germany. Berlin. Yeah, she is from Berlin. She wore... No, maybe she's not from Berlin because why would she be wearing the... Okay, maybe she's from Cologne. Anyway, German drag queen. Cannot remember her name, but she wore the Cologne Cathedral as her look, and it was incredible. She's beautiful. She's hilarious. Love her. It's going to be a really good season. And yeah, shout out, if anyone's been watching the new Drag Race US season, damn, there's some great looks in there too. I would love to know how many Yumi fans are also Drag Race fans because, yeah, it's become really a staple in my life, and it's the best, honestly, the most incredible inspiration for performing and live shows and looks and makeup and, I mean, all of it. Like, there's a reason that, like, they have to be good at every part of it. They have to be funny. It's very inspiring. I love our drag queens. I feel so lucky to live in a time where we have so many seasons of Drag Race, so many incredible queens competing. And I love living in a city like Melbourne where I can go and see, I've been to see live drag shows and it's so fun. And yeah, boy, are we lucky. Are we lucky to have our drag queens? And also they are being more and more targeted in a way that's completely messed up, as you all know. And I think, they need our support. Okay, someone did say my two favorite things collide: Drag Race and Yumi Zouma. Thank God, because here I was thinking, damn, I'm really maybe just talking all this stuff about this to people who just they're not interested. Anyway, we're good. There was something else I was going to answer. Oh, where else are we playing in Germany? So we're playing in Cologne on the 6th of March at a venue called Yuka. We are playing in Berlin on the 14th of March at a venue called Badehaus. Badehaus? I hope I got that right. My German pronunciation is not my strongest suit. So we are playing 2 shows in Germany. This may be not the first time. I think we've played before I think we played in Hamburg and then we played in Berlin. So we have done 2 shows in Germany before. It's going to be such a great tour. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited to go to so many cities in Europe that we've never been to and play in Poland for the first time. We're playing in Austria for the first time. We're playing in Vienna. We're doing 2 shows in Spain. We've been to Barcelona once, but we're playing in Madrid as well. And I'm so excited for that. Like, it just feels like a different, this feels like a really different tour. I feel like for us, it's going to be much more of an adventure and we're going to so many new cities. And then with Vera Ellen on the tour, I think it's going to be a great time. Of course, America's going to be really fun too. So they're kind of happening pretty close to each other, but we have a little break in between. I hope that you all will be coming and I hope you've got your tickets already. I do know they're selling quite fast in a lot of places. I think London's selling pretty fast. I think that's getting close to selling out. I think there are some American cities where the tickets are selling, have been selling really well too. So I think, don't leave it too late. I would hate to see that you miss out. And, for us, it's also really cool. If you buy your tickets in advance, we get to go, oh my God, maybe it's going to sell out before we even go on tour. And that's happened to us once where I think nearly all the shows had sold out on the tour that we had booked for Truth or Consequences in 2020. And then, of course, it got cancelled due to COVID. But all the shows on that tour were sold out or very close to selling out. We were about to embark on our first ever sold out tour. And then they got cancelled, which was very sad. And it was really nice when we could eventually come back and do shows again in 2022. And we played, I think, some bigger venues in different, it was a different tour. But that is a really cool feeling. And I would love to do that again. I would love for you guys to buy your tickets in advance and then we can be like, oh my God, we sold out. That would be cool. So maybe I should, maybe I should be saying this more often. Maybe I should tell people the reason why is like, it's great to know in advance that your show is sold out. It is one of maybe the best feelings of being a touring musician because you go into it just knowing it's going to have that hype feeling. The room, it's certain. The room is full. It's sold out. It's, I think especially we haven't toured in a while and, this is going to be a bit of a triumphant return to touring for us. So it will be a little bit scary, I think, because we haven't been this out of tour basically since we started. I think this has been the longest break we've ever had from touring and it wasn't really intentional. It just happened that way. And with the album, the timing of everything, and, lives get busy. It can be hard to make it fit in with other things. And, a lot of the time it does make more sense to tour once the album's out, which is what we chose to do here. So we will be a little bit scared, but we will also be so excited. And I have never been more excited to go back on tour, I think, than this time around because it's been so long. And I think this album is so fun. It's going to be so fun to play live. I think we've got hopefully a lot of energy to bring you all. So, I think it'll be cool. Someone said that they got 2 tickets the second it was online. Bless you. That is truly the best way to do it. That's what we want. Is Paris selling okay? I think Paris is selling okay. I think it is. I mean, I actually truthfully don't know the answer, but I think if it wasn't, I would know that. So I think we're good. But, you can spread the word, bring your friends, tell your friends. Can always be selling better, surely, until it's sold out and then, we're done. Whoa, somebody said they saw the post that we were touring in October while they were sitting on the toilet and they booked their tickets before they even got up. And see, that is the kind of dedication that I want you all to have. Although hygiene reasons, maybe not my most recommended form of purchasing new Zouma tickets. But hey, if you have to purchase them on the toilet because you're so excited, like I only have respect for that. I can only respect that level of dedication and I encourage it in and more of our fans, I think, that we could do with that level of fanaticism. What? I literally said, holy shit. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Somebody said, been a few years since an Australian tour too. I mean, it has. We are well due back to Australia and New Zealand. The last time we played there was 2022. So we'll be coming up on 4 years since we've been. Well, I live here, but since we've been and played shows down under as a band, we are looking to plan some shows for later this year. We are just working out dates and availability and things with our booking agent. So it will be happening, but we've had a lot of other stuff on the plate. So wait and see, stay tuned for that. Can't really tell you when yet because we don't really know. And once we know, we will tell you. And yes, we are doing a vinyl release for anybody who missed that. There was a vinyl. There will be a vinyl release. We are waiting on a date for that. So once we have a date, we will put up a pre-order. It will be a little bit later. Obviously, it's not out now when the album's out, but the vinyl is ordered. I think it's ordered, maybe just about ordered, and it will be on its way too soon. And I'm really excited. It's going to be very cool. Lorenzo, our graphic designer, has done some amazing packaging for it, and I can't remember what color we went with for vinyl. Like we're going to have some cool colors, I believe, because obviously we do have some very strong colors in the album. I'm hoping we are still going with that for the vinyl. I can't really remember, but we don't have Charlie and Josh in the chat anymore. Charlie did have to leave, and I probably could call it a day soon. I mean, maybe if you will, I'll put your questions in the chat now, any questions you have for me, and I'll try to answer a bunch more questions, and then maybe I will log off. I'm also having a feeling, was I meant to be doing this in a video, or was I meant to be like, were we meant to be watching a video together? I feel like I should know this, and let me just yeah. You ask your questions while I investigate if there's anything more that I was meant to be doing, and if I even know how to do that. But yeah, put your questions in the chat now. We'll get them all in there, and then I'm going to answer them all in a minute. Okay, I'll try and answer all of them. If there's any that I'm like, I might leave, but I'll probably answer them all. Let's be honest. Okay. Yeah, I think if I oh no, live stream Q&A. Cool. Well, that's great because you've been asking me questions and I've been answering them, and that's what we're doing right now. Okay, cool. So okay. Sorry, there's been a lot of planning and it's hard to work out what's what. And we did put out a video for Cowboy Without a Clue, and that is up on YouTube now, which you can go and watch it. You can go watch it on your own. You can watch that after this ends in your own time. That's your homework. All right. I'm going to answer these questions now. So, okay. Somebody, sorry, I was going to do them from the start, but somebody said, who are your enemies? Does Zouma have any enemies / rivals? Which is really funny to me as a concept. Because I don't think we do. Look, no one that would know that they're like our enemy. No one specific where you're like, oh, there's a rivalry. I think we're Kiwis, for God's sake. We're like way too passive and nice, and we don't want to get in a fight. And I think it's because we don't exist in any particular scene because we are all around the world. I think there's no particular scene that we would, be coming up other people and be like, oh, they're a competition. It's a rivalry. Which is a shame because, I would love to do the Yumi Zouma version of Heated Rivalry. Amazing show. Shout out Heated Rivalry fans in the chat. We all loved that, didn't we? We loved it. It was a great show. Amazing acting, honestly. Those guys, wow, they really did a great job. Anyway, back to the questions. No, we don't really have any enemies or rivals. But I will say that there's a few enemies of the band that exist in the world today that I think are enemies of a lot of people. People like, or dare I say, the bad CEO of Spotify. And, that's a tough one because we are quite beholden to Spotify, and they have been historically such a good supporter of the band in times when they were not as evil as they are now, and we're not supporting very evil things with the money that we are earning for them. However, we do still use Spotify. That is one of our main sources of streaming revenue in general. I would say that man, what a bad man. What about if he just didn't do that? And what about if he thought about the fact that all the musicians on this platform don't want that? Like, why could we not be, anyway, I wish we could vote. I wish we were shareholders and we could vote him out. Anyway, let's not get too carried away with that one. And then also, Donald Trump, enemy of the band. Let's be real. Donald Trump is an enemy of most of the world at this point, but he is specifically an enemy of the band because he makes it way harder to get specifically Yumi Zouma related things. Obviously, I mean, this is the thing. I feel like I maybe shouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, look, honestly, you all know why he's an enemy of ours. He's an enemy of ours because he's taking away the rights of people actively. The ICE stuff that's happening in the US is absolutely horrendous and unbelievable. I honestly, it is unfathomable the level to which he has become the evil dictator that we always knew he was. But and it doesn't, a lot of people think, oh, well, you don't, you're just from New Zealand, or you live in, I live in Australia. Stick to your own politics, or, a lot of people have said to us in the past when we've spoken about things like this, stick to music, don't get into politics. We aren't even a very political band. So we, you kind of can't believe it when people say that. But yeah, he's obviously very, very, very bad man in a way that it's kind of unbelievable, the level of power that he has not achieved. That is the wrong word, because I feel like it's not an achievement, but he is definitely an enemy of the band. So let's just leave it at that. He's an enemy of everybody, I hope, in this chat. But if we can do anything to, I don't know, if we can do anything to help. I mean, I know that the ICE protests are happening today. Is it today or maybe tomorrow in the US? I would like to promote anything. If you guys have anything to send us, please send us a DM on Instagram, and I would love to share any valuable resources, or be a platform for that, because I think it's just horrendous. And and Josh lives in America. I mean, we aren't separate from it. We aren't removed. It's it is I think I've said everything I need to say on that for now. Let me answer some more light-hearted ones. Let's see. Somebody said, what color is this album to you? This album to me is, I think when Lorenzo designed the artwork, he designed it with a holographic foil in mind for the parts on the cover artwork that are little strips of multiple colors. And I think that it isn't really one color. It is a holographic foil. It is a multitude of colors and feelings and emotions combined into one. It's sort of a non-answer, but I think, because we've chosen that kind of color palette, it's hard to see it any other way now. I also think when we were working on these songs, I was really getting into, I remember being like really into like a deep purple, deep red, and like a lime green, like a really vibrant chartreuse green. So maybe that's something of a color palette that exists within the world. I don't know. I was admiring the album cover of No Love, Lost Kindness. Is it just yourself in that picture? No. So that is a picture of all four of us. It is similar to the photo that we've shared recently on our Instagram, and it's taken from above. It's all four of us are in the shot, and it's just been treated with like a spiral effect. So everyone's faces are quite blurry, and it probably is difficult to see others that are on there. But we're all on there, I swear. Mine's just at the front because of the angle of the camera. Do you listen to your own music while you work or chill? I haven't lately, and I don't think this album is one that I would really be listening to because I think it's like a bit more intense. But I do listen to. I think there's been periods of time too where I've listened to this album a lot because I was trying to really absorb it when we were working on track listing. When we were working on mixes, I would be listening to it while I was doing other stuff so that it would just be in my brain and I'd be familiarizing myself with it. But sometimes I do listen to, like every now and again, I'll do a deep dive of our catalog and I'll put that on while I'm working, and it's kind of fun and cute, and it keeps me kind of engaged in a nice way because it's so familiar. But it's like a novelty to listen to, I guess. But yeah, I feel very lucky that, the boys have always done such a great job of writing songs that I like listening to, and I like helping write, and I don't get a weird feeling afterwards listening to them. For the most part, anyway. What's your favorite 80s college rock band? Okay. I feel like I don't know what college rock bands are. Is that a stupid thing to say? I mean, I'm gonna have to. Like, I love a lot of 80s rock bands, but I don't know what college rock. Sorry, I'm googling this. 80s college rock. Is that like the underground artist, or was it like in my mind, I'm like, is that like the music people were listening to in college? I mean, forgive my naivety. I feel like maybe this is more of an American thing as well, and we don't really have like college or like the big university culture here as much as we do. Okay. I've got a misc playlist from Spotify that has a couple artists on it. So it's a real mix though. I feel like we've got the Proclaimers, the B-52s, Echo and the Bunnymen. Look, maybe that person can suggest some options. Dixie's Midnight Runners. I mean, I love Dixie's Midnight Runners. Somebody said, do you have anything planned for the 10th anniversary of the release of Willowbank next year? We don't at the moment, but I think it is something we do want to do. I think that album felt like such a big moment for us back then. Crazy to think it's been 10 years. I think especially at that time too, this album and a lot of our touring will be concluding. It might be a nice time to look back, and maybe I think we have toyed with the idea as well of doing like special shows. We play that album, so that's on the cards, but there's nothing confirmed. It's just all ideas at this point. Will you cover every album and EP on tour? I know it's tricky, maybe too much. I think we usually try to, but I do think there's usually something that misses out, and I think it just depends on what the set list is flowing like, and also because obviously with this tour, it is the No Love Lost to Kindness tour. We do want to be playing as many of those songs as we can. We definitely will be playing songs from older albums, but I do think we have so many albums and EPs now that maybe a couple of them miss out. I know we're definitely playing songs from EP4, EP3, maybe EP2 and 1. We will be playing songs from Present Tense and Truth or Consequences, I think. Yeah. And I'm just trying. Maybe Nothing from Yonkala. Maybe Willowbank. I'm not sure. Actually, maybe Nothing from Yonkala. Oh, well. Okay, we are playing a song from Willowbank, of course, because we will be playing Depths, because that is one of our biggest songs, and it's got to do it. We got to put that one on there. Got to give the people what they want. What did the lyric "Baby looks like Mona Lisa" mean to you? I wish I could answer that, but Josh actually wrote that line, and I just thought, damn, that's funny and fun. I think when he first wrote it, it just sounded like a thing you would say that's like a compliment, right? But then when you think about it, it's like she isn't necessarily she's not famous for her beauty. She's famous for the unusual expression on her face. And I think, I don't know, maybe that's what Josh was getting at. It's like there's something there that you want to. Well, his next line is, "I'd be lying if I don't want to try." Maybe it's like there's an intrigue there. I don't know. That's what I could speak to. That's what I could speak meaning into. Oh yes, one of our Drag Race fans in the chat said, "Who are you rooting for in the US Drag Race?" I think I'm team Mia Starr, Vita, and also the girl who looks like Arya Stark. Look, I think it's his real struggle because when it's a new season, it's so hard to remember all of their names. Mia Starr is really good though. If I'm thinking, yeah, I think I really love Jane Don't is definitely one of my favorites. She's very funny. Her drag's amazing. I think she's got a pretty good chance of winning it. She seems like she's really on her shit. I don't know if I want to say that, but Jane Don't. I think though she's one of those ones where you're like, you don't need to root for her because she's probably going to get pretty far in it anyway. Why can I not? I think because I've just watched the UK versus the world, my brain is a little bit mixed up with all the new queens. Let me look them up. I know that I've said I'm a fan. Vita Vontes is also very impressive. I feel like she's going to do really well. The crazy redhead, I love her. Sierra Mist, is there a name? Sierra Mist. She's good, and she's funny. I like her weird drag. I also love Darlene Mitchell because that is just such a good name. And she's so cute, and I love her like country girl vibe. I think she's gonna do really well. I really love. She's cute and funny out of drag, and I think she seems like, I don't know. I like the people who seem like they're good people out of drag. And I know that's not actually for good. Doesn't make for good television, but I like the ones who seem nice, and I don't like when they're all really mean to each other because that to me is not. I mean, maybe that is what drag's about. Maybe I'm naive, and yeah, maybe I just should grow up here. I don't know. Okay. Yumi belly lip bumps. No, we're not doing that. Oh wait, I think these are from a while ago. Sorry, I should have scrolled down. Yeah, okay. There's people. Okay, I'm really. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm really behind. I need to hurry this. It's also been an hour and a half. Yeah. What is my Do you speak French? Someone said, because I heard someone speaking French in one of your songs. I do not. Charlie does speak a little bit of French. He used to speak very good French. I think he probably is a little out of practice now, but he used to live in Paris and learned a bit of French when he was living there. I don't know who is speaking French at the end of that song, and I don't know if that's just like a little soundbite that was clipped from somewhere or not. He's not in the chat anymore, sorry, but I don't speak French, sorry. Let's see what everybody is saying. Did I miss anything else? I think I've got... Okay, I've caught up with all those. Where are we next? Someone said, what is your fave song, Christy? Fave song of what? Of our whole catalogue or fave song of the world? Favorite song of all time? Favorite song of all time, actually. I can't answer that. It is... And this is a hard one to choose, but real ones know, real Fleetwood Mac fans know that Rhiannon, amazing song. Dreams, amazing song. But the real best ever Fleetwood Mac song is Gypsy. And it just has this feeling of joy, and those lyrics just speak to me. And that is my favorite song. And it's unfortunate about the title of it, but that's okay. They, you know, they didn't know back then. She didn't really mean it, you know. Yeah. Anyway, that one, that is my favorite song of all time, of the world and its songs. People are saying, why was Powder Blue removed from Spotify? I don't think it was removed from Spotify. I will check, but we didn't intentionally do that. And it would be weird if it was just one song. Cassine have the control over those, and sometimes there's issues with various ends of licenses. I don't know, but it should be fine. I will check this. I will check that after this. Other people are saying Powder Blue. Yeah, can you all check and confirm if Powder Blue is still on Spotify? Because if it isn't, that's a worry. But I feel like, honestly, it should be. Okay, sorry, we'll just get that. Yep, get that in place. All right. I'm confused. Neither YouTube nor Spotify list the Antwerp concert, but I've most definitely bought my ticket already. We are playing in Belgium. Refer to, I think, if you go to our website, through there, you can go to bands in town. It lists all the shows, and you can confirm on there. I feel like sometimes there's just issues with the way it gets imported into Spotify or other platforms. So don't refer to those as the main thing, because if it's on our website, it's happening. We're doing it. And if you've got a ticket, we're doing it. We wouldn't be selling tickets to shows we aren't doing, I would hope. Okay, now I'm at the section where people were suggesting college rock bands. People saying REM, The Church, The Replacements. They do really like REM. I see. So it was alternative bands from the era. Okay. I mean, I do really like REM. I feel like they're one of those underrated ones from that era too. They kind of got a lot of flack. Powder Blue is apparently still on Spotify. What speech was sampled for the start and end of Southwark? I used to know the answer to this and I've forgotten. I'm sorry. Charlie knows, but he's not here. Can't remember. They are the ones who pull the sound bites and put them in the songs. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you. I remember some of them, but I don't remember that one. Ideally, is there an EP5 in the not that far future? I don't think so, but I mean, now that you've said it, look, maybe. There's definitely a few songs that didn't make it on this album that we still love, and they could have some kind of other moment at some point, but I don't know. I feel like I think honestly, we are here, we're really only thinking about this album right now. I think we finally made it to this point where it's out. You know, we started writing this album in over 2 years ago, and I think we're just so glad now that we've finished it and it's here and you guys can listen to it. And I think, you know, it is really easy. I think we've always been the kind of band who just go, okay, now we need to start writing the next thing, and we need to move on, and we need to, you know. But I think the effort that we put into this album, and I think, you know, the point that we're at, I think we really want to make sure we aren't moving on too fast from it. I think in the past that's, you can get really burnt out doing that. And I think it's nice to take a minute and just appreciate the music that we've worked so hard on. And even though we finished a lot of these songs a long time ago, like that we handed in this album a while ago, it's nice to finally revisit it and have this time now to talk about it and promote it and come back to it, even though, yeah, with a bit of time in between, I think has been, you know, kind of nice. We probably should be wrapping this up soon. I feel like there's still a few of you on here though. Kudos to anyone who's been here this whole time. Hope you didn't have other important things to do, and you don't have, like, your mum's going to be annoyed because you're meant to empty the dishwasher or something like that, or your partner's going to go, oh, you thought you were making dinner tonight, and you're like, oh, well, I was all stuck on this live stream. It was so riveting. She was talking so much about Drag Race. Are there any plans for a live album or another live set like the Hackney Studios one? So I don't want to reveal the full thing yet, but yes, it's not a whole album. It is some songs on the album, and you have already got one of them. It's out now. So we've released Cowboy Without a Clue. We did a live session at this amazing lodge in near Little River in Banks Peninsula in New Zealand, South Island, and it was really nice. It was very cold, and we had the fire going the whole time in this little house, and we filmed it and we recorded it, and we've done a few songs from the album. They'll be revealed in due time. And it was a cool little challenge and really fun. We got very drunk after we finished. We had to get up in the morning and leave. It was really cool. You won't get to see that on the video though. You'll just get to see us maybe looking warm and cozy. And I think we probably, any more questions? Any more questions? Last chance. Questions, everybody? When, how do you decide to do album signing at shows? Good question. I wish I could tell you something that actually made sense, but it's really just dependent on the vibe of how we're feeling after we finish. Because sometimes it can just be, sometimes it's actually that we need to get out of the venue fast too. That is the worst one, when you want to go and do it. You have the energy, but you have to pack up and get out, either get on the road to the next place, or you just, the venue needs you out and they're rushing you out, and we don't have other people to pack up our stuff. So we can't just go. Often in those cases though, I might go out myself and the boys will do the packing up. It's not the ideal situation. We obviously want to be able to sign stuff for you guys. Sometimes it is just, it can be hard work getting prepared for the show. It's a lot of effort. You have to be switched on, and it can be pretty exhausting. And I think I feed off of other people's energy because I am singing and I'm, I think that's the natural state as a front woman. So for me, I actually really usually love it. But I think for the guys, it can get to a point where it's just, they're just too exhausted, and then they wouldn't really be able to give you, a nice experience. And I think it also can mean that it can take away from the energy that they would have for the next show, for playing the shows. I think it can start to really drain you after a while. Of course, that, that's not anything to do with how our fans are always the loveliest, most, it really can fill my cup so much to meet you guys and to sign stuff for people. And I love it. But it also just, you've got to, touring's really hard. It can take a lot of your juice out of your system. So sometimes you just have to pick and choose when you're reserving your juice. But with that said, I'm really hoping I have lots of juice on this tour and come and meet you guys and sign stuff for you. I think the other thing is, and it's so sweet, but compared to when we started, this is like the best problem to have. Compared to when we started and we go out, we might sign like 5-10 things, and then we'll be like, sweet, we're done. It didn't take long. Now when we go, sometimes we'll be there for hours because we're signing things for people. And that is that's so cool. Like, how lucky are we that is the case? But it also means it's harder to do. And I think, a lot of celebrities have talked about this, that you get to that point where you so want to meet people, you want to engage with people, but it becomes really hard because you can't do it for everyone all the time, especially not, we're still at a level that I feel really lucky we can still engage with people, and it's still, it's still a sustainable thing for us. So I feel lucky that we're at that point. But yeah, it's one of the perpetual challenges, I think, of being a musician, being an artist, is you want to connect with people, but you've also got to make sure you keep some of your energy for connecting with people via playing the shows and driving. You got to get in the car in the next city You got to unpack the gear. You got to do the setup, do sound check. It's a whole thing. I feel like I'm rambling now. I think maybe we should probably call it in a minute. So I'm going to just read whatever questions. Are you doing any VIP tickets before the show? No, like this is the other thing. I've seen artists talk about this. Because yeah, that is a way to control it, right? You can do VIP tickets. You can charge people more for a VIP package if they want to meet us. And then that's a way to control it. You can have a controlled number of those available, etc. And then, but it is this thing of, I've seen, I can't remember who it was, maybe it's like Maddie Healy from the 1975. And he's like, if you're taking their money, go and shake their hand, take the money from them. Because I think he's talking about the fact that some artists charge so much money for those things. And it is a weird thing just to charge your fans money to meet you. And I kind of understand that. But I also think it can be a way to control, obviously, the number of people that you're, it's a way to have it more organized. And but I do think in that way it's less off the cuff, it's less organic, and it's less based on how you're feeling that day. You are then beholden to doing it, even if you've had the worst show of your life and you need to get off stage and just cry. Sometimes that's what happens. And and so we're not going to do VIP tickets. Why the name change from Best You Ever Had to Drag? I think because when we were saying sum up of the song, Best You Ever Had sounds way too positive, because the line is not the best I ever had. Best I ever had. Yeah, it was best I ever had. The line's not the best I ever had. It didn't feel right to then call the song Best I Ever Had. It sounded like it didn't sum up the song, and it didn't sum up what the whole messages of it, that it's about moving on from something, letting go from something, letting go of the life that was much harder. And I think drag I also really loved that as a single word title, to have this kind of double entendre or triple entendre. It's like, it's about the drag as a metaphor, like life was a drag, but also I love drag queens and I love drag race. I love drag. I like that idea as well, that you are in drag, you're performing. That's a nice metaphor for masking. When you're neurodivergent, you're masking. That's kind of like a form of performance. It's kind of that double entendre. And then also, I don't know, I just love that it sounds a little bit like, maybe drag racing. Like, there's like that little bit of like a speedway cars thing that sounds rock song. So yeah, then we changed it. And I just think we've got a lot of titles on this album that are a little longer. And I think I felt it was nice to have just that one word that sums up this whole song really nicely, and just a single word title. So that's why we changed it. It wasn't a bad title before. I think some songs had really weird titles and we had to change them, but that one we were happy either way. But yeah. Someone said, what do you guys think of In Blue from Willowbank? Would you play it at a show? Sorry, I keep asking this question. It's my favorite song. I don't even think we know how to play that one. I think we've maybe played that like a couple of shows once. It's probably not going to make as much sense in our current set list. I'm not ruling it out entirely, but I don't think it will be on this tour. I think it'll be, if we do a Willowbank tour, then we would make that one part of that, like an anniversary tour. What are my favorite bands? Anything from the 80s. I personally love Fleetwood Mac a lot. If you have been on this chat, you already know that. And if you do, and already maybe you know that because of how our music sounds, and also because I've talked about it in every other interview and every other, and obviously they are kind of from the 80s. They were doing stuff in the 80s, and some of their 80s hits are their best. My other favorites, I've really always been a fan of why am I struggling to think of this right now? This is a bit of an embarrassing one. I feel like this is like a lame girl one, but or like nerdy. But I love Simon and Garfunkel. I really love Simon and Garfunkel. My favorite 80s bands. Why does it seem like a hard question? I think because when I listen to a lot of 80s music, it's I have favorite songs by bands, but I feel like I don't have particular albums, maybe apart from Fleetwood Mac albums from the 80s, or things like Graceland by Paul Simon. I really love The Blue Nile. I love that album. Hats. That's a great album that I would listen to in its entirety. But I think I am a little bit victim to the whole 80s playlist love. And I think I've never really listened to enough full albums from the 80s era. I think I'm more of a full albums from the 70s, 60s, 90s, beyond. 80s is really my favorite era for really good singles. So that's where I'm just shuffling stuff. But that being said, I really love Heart. I also really love, oh my God, The Brain. The Brain is not working today, everybody. Sorry. Oh, I mean, I love Madonna. Like, who doesn't love Madonna? And I love the Eurythmics. I love Annie Lennox, but that's 90s. See, that's when she was doing her solo thing. Yeah, I do love the 80s. I just don't know why I can't tell you who my favorite bands are specifically from the 80s. I think because it is really just Fleetwood Mac, sorry. Okay. Let's see. I think we might have one more question that I will answer. If you remember, this is a good question. Thank you. And they said, come to Brazil. And I really want to go to Brazil, but we haven't been booked for a show there yet. So maybe one day. If you remember of any other band, which one would you like to be part of? I feel like I have to pick something that is more of a modern generation. I feel like it's a cop-out to say Fleetwood Mac because also I don't know if I would want to be a part of their band because it sounded like it was always pretty stressful and now, you know, they're down a few members. I don't know. Nah. I think I'm realizing that maybe I do already want to be a part of my band. It's pretty cute. I think it's more that there's artists' music that they've written or careers that they've had that I feel more that I would, you know, that would be more of if I didn't have this, I would love to have that. And that's, you know, maybe more like in a folk world. Like I love actually, and I see bands like Blusher, who I talked about earlier, and they're doing like 3-piece girl group pop band. And I think that is something I would love to do. So maybe something like that. Or, you know, like the folk, and more in the folk world is Boy Genius. It would be so cool to be in a band like Boy Genius. I think that's the thing, though. I don't want to be in Boy Genius. It wouldn't be the same. And I also think it'd be really intense and like, I don't know, there's like crazy dynamics there now that like 2 of them are in a relationship. And anyway, there's also another amazing folk trio called Folk Bitch Trio they're also from Melbourne. They're incredible. They are like amazing. Like, oh my God. And their music is beautiful. You should go and listen to that. And actually Tom Healy recorded their album. He's a Kiwi artist and he played on our album. He played some pedal steel. He is an incredible producer and they went to New Zealand to work with him. It's an amazing album. They are blowing up at the moment. They are incredible. 3 incredibly beautiful voices. They are all very beautiful people, and when they harmonize and sing live, it's just like otherworldly experience. I've seen them live a few times and oh my God, it's like I was ascending. And then they're so low-key about it. They're just like embodying this, like, yeah, we're folk. I was so impressed and it rocked my world. So probably something like that. But I wouldn't want to be that's the thing. I don't want to be in their band. Yeah, I don't know. I think I love my band and I want to be in my band. So, yeah. I would love to I think that's it. Like, I would love to make a super group that's like that, but a different version. You know, I think that's what I would rather do. I wouldn't want to be in a band that already exists and like add myself or like replace someone. I would like to make a new group with, you know, I would love to do it with Amelia, with Phaser Days. I feel like New Zealand is due, you know, maybe New Zealand show is due like a little super group of some of our people. I mean, maybe we could even just do like, yeah, I think that's what I would like to do if, you know, we are, if we're winding down anything at any point, and you know, after this touring period, I don't know, but if I do some stuff on my own, it'd be so cool to write songs with other people like that, and I might do that. Who knows? And hopefully you'll be there. It would be not the same not working with Charlie and Josh, though, let's be real, but if I can find other cool people to collaborate with too, then, you know, we can make it. It could all be wonderful. And we love Phaser Days, and she is a lovely, lovely person. Nobody I've ever met is more kind and deserving of the success that she's had. She has had some horrible things happen to her in her career, and with an ex-partner and who was a musician, and she deserves the world. Everyone go stream some Phaser Days right now. That last album, Soft Power, was unbelievably good, and Simon Gooding mixed that album. He also mixed our album, so we are united. Simon Gooding, shout out. He's a Kiwi icon, incredible mixer, and yeah, we love our Kiwi team. We love having these collaborators and friends. It feels like, even though we are all spread across the globe, and then even Simon lives in New York, so Josh and Simon could work together in the studio. It's just nice having our Kiwis around the world and our friends and our community, because it can be really hard to have community when you're a band like us all around the world. And I think we're nearly reaching 2 hours, and I think I should probably call it a day. But that's how I wanted to end, is just to say thank you all so much, because you guys are our community from around the world. And it's so hard when we are all just in a computer screen and in the chat, and it's not the same, of course, as when you get to be there in person. But that's why we love that this year we get to play some shows for you, we get to meet you. And honestly, we've always been an online band. It's always been our thing, because we've never all been in the same place at the same time, living in the same city. We're so grateful that that hasn't meant that we've ever, you guys don't give up on us, and you're still showing up for us. Even though it's been a few years since we're touring, it means the world to us. It's what makes it feel real, even if it is, through the internet. It is so, so incredible to be loved by you all. And thank you all so much for joining the chat. Thank you for great questions. I've had a lot of fun. I think I'm better at doing YouTube live now, and I think I could do this on my own again. But also, maybe we've had our time, but we will also see you. If you are interested, we are doing an album listening party on Bandcamp. I think that is on Tuesday morning if you're in Australia, New Zealand time. It will be evening on Monday night if you are in a US time zone. Somewhere in the middle if you're in UK, Europe, But that will be posted. That's posted on our Instagram. We'll be posting about that before it happens. So if you want to come and have a listening party with us, we'll all be there. I don't think we're doing a video. It won't be like this, but we'll be in the chat talking about the songs, listening through the album together. So that'll be kind of fun, because then we can really do a track by track. We can answer your questions specifically about each track. So thank you all so much. Much love. Stay safe. Take care of one another. And thanks for being here.